Ever find yourself staring into the fridge at 6 p.m. with no idea what to cook for dinner? If you're juggling a hectic schedule, it can feel impossible to whip up something healthy and satisfying.
Yes, today she is going to share some of our favorite quick and easy meal prep recipes that will not only save you time, but it'll also keep you healthy all week long. So today's going to be a little bit different. I want to just ask her a lot of different questions about what she does for our household. That way we're eating healthy, not being too hectic around the week, and for just good meals throughout the day. And so I want to hopefully get about 3 or 4 practical recipes or items that you do cook. I mean, I don't want to go too far into recipes. We can share them. We can probably share them down below.
Yes.
Um, but I want to know, because here's the thing. I know when people think about cooking, it's all about convenience. And so that's
Yes.
why people don't cook at home
Yes. And we have to change that mindset because our grandparents, and possibly when our parents were younger, they ate at home, right?
all the time.
Yeah. So meal prep was not, well, cooking your food on a daily basis was a normal thing. So I don't know where we when we lost our way.
Just going, going,
Yeah.
going, going, going. And so
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, well, I don't have time to cook. Let me go get some McDonald's.
Oh, I
Let me
don't
go
enjoy cooking.
don't enjoy cooking, and we've created an environment where we enjoy cooking now. Our kids enjoy cooking because when you think about meal prepping, it can save you a good 7 to 10 hours per week
Yes.
from just planning. And here's a study I actually found is that when you meal prep, you spend about 5 to 7 hours cooking a week. That's it. But when you don't prep, you can spend between 12 and 15 hours. That is double the
Yes.
amount of time when you don't have any plan.
Yeah, because you're making circles in the kitchen. You're running in
And
circles
in your
trying to
mind.
figure out what I want to do, what I want to eat, and if I have all the ingredients and yada yada.
And one thing I did notice too, when we start planning stuff out, because we always have this conversation of what we're gonna make for dinner this week. I saw like the reduction of stress happen from not having those last minute decisions about what to eat.
Yeah.
And
And I try to get input from everyone too. So everyone gets a turn to pick something. And if they can't decide, then I step in, obviously. But
and when you do that, it just makes the weekdays just feel a lot more
yes.
organized, more manageable with all the
Yes.
kids' schedules, work schedules, all the
Correct.
things that's pulling at us.
And then if one of the children wants something, they get to choose the meal and everybody has to eat that meal that they choose. Now, if they're talking about something that's totally unhealthy for you, we veto that, right? But for the most part, you make the healthy version as much as you possibly can.
Yep.
And I think that creates that bond in the family that the kid feels like they're heard, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it gives them some decision making power and learn to start
Yes.
making decisions, and they
Yes.
stick by the decision. Small
Right.
little thing, but
It's
it's a
yeah.
decision making
Yeah.
process. Um, yeah. Okay. So you nailed it though. A lot of times that people talk about cooking, it's a time commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the initial challenges when we really went hardcore at meal prepping and not really going out to eat, even like once or twice a week like we used to? What were some of the initial challenges or problems that you had to overcome to really make this a part of our family, make it work?
I had to make up in my mind that this is what I was going to do. I didn't want to eat out. I didn't want our children to eat out as much. And I wanted us to be healthy, but I also had to plan. I had to take the time to meal plan. I had to take the time to make sure I have all the ingredients and find meals that didn't require a long laundry list of ingredients, especially complex ingredients that I can't find or I have to go to specialty stores.
So keep it simple.
Keep it very simple. Yeah, those are the things I had to overcome. And I think once I did that, it became easier and it became second nature.
Yeah, so it's just a commitment to change that way of thinking, to
Correct.
change that behavior. That
Correct.
way you will get the results of the home cooked meals. It's like anything. You learn to do something that's difficult at first, but the more you do it, it becomes easy and it becomes basically competent unconsciously.
Yeah, and I choose one day out the week that I go to the grocery store. Sometimes I go twice because vegetables, we eat them up, so they don't last as long. So I don't buy a ton of veggies to last the entire week. That's not going to happen. I try to buy, up from one day for about 4 days, and then I go again for the next 3 days. But I had to choose a day that I know that this is my food shopping day, and then
Do it.
this is my food prep day.
Yeah.
Right. So when I chose those, I marked those days off, and I didn't put it on days where I know my kids have activities. I didn't put it on days where I knew I had, calls, coaching calls. I did not do that. I put it on days where I knew I had that block in my calendar that it's not going to I'm not going to deviate from that
So
schedule.
like time management, making a commitment
Yes.
as what I'm going to do, and you just kind of do it like you go take your kids to dance.
Correct.
Yeah, I know sometimes too, the kids love their favorite meals, so it can sometimes become like repetitive.
Yes.
However, that's part of the process, though, but they're not.
That is, I mean, and kids, for the most part, they're they like simple food. As their palates are very basic at the moment, right? As they get older, obviously, it becomes more sophisticated. But it's like, if you think of it, if you normally eat at McDonald's once or twice out the week, or you eat at Chick-fil-A once or twice out the week, you're getting the same thing, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah, so it's the same thing at home. So if you're eating, I don't know,
Bean burritos. We love bean burritos, and we do it every week.
every week, right? And I mean,
Chick-fil-A 3 times a week. What's the difference?
you're eating it, right?
Yeah, that's good.
You eating it. You eating chicken
Good little shift.
every couple days, right? You're eating chicken
Yeah.
several times out the week.
Yeah.
Whether it's fried or baked or whatever, you're eating chicken, right? So it's the same concept.
So from what I understand, what you're telling me, it's really just making a commitment to change your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get hung up about trying to get so creative in the variety of different things.
Keep it very simple.
Keep it very simple. That way it can just be efficient and just not tricky to get started making these healthy alternatives to
Correct.
improve your health.
Correct.
All right. Okay. So that's good. Now let's get into let's do 4. Let's do 4 homemade items that we make that are kind of crucial to our overall dietary lifestyle in a given week.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, which is huge, is milk. Right. So we're not milking a cow,
No.
but we're making almond milk.
Yes.
And that's fantastic because milk goes in everything. It goes in coffee. It goes in cereals. We eat cereals. It goes in meals, foods. I mean,
It goes
everything
in
is milk.
salad dressings. It goes in everything.
Yeah. So here in Charlotte, North Carolina, when it's talking about snow, the first thing that goes off the shelves are milk and bread.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's just a Southern thing. So what? Tell me about your recipe or how you kind of approach the whole milk. Almond milk.
I try to buy bulk almonds, and I keep it in the fridge, so I'm never, running to the store every week looking for almonds. But basically all you're doing, you're milking an almond, and all you're doing is blending with a high speed blender. It's almonds, water, and a pinch of salt. And then I double strain mine. You can single strain it, but I double strain it. I think the texture is way better. And I pour them into a glass jar, and that lasts us about between 2 and 4 days.
Yeah. And that jug is probably about a half a gallon, I would imagine.
I would imagine. I try to aim for 7.5 cups.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could adjust the recipe because 7.5, out of 3/4 cups of almonds, I get 7.5 cups.
That's a lot, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good bang for your buck. You make your own milk. Yes, it takes a little bit of extra work, but I think it tastes way better than the store-bought stuff. It has less chemicals.
Tastes better than the almond milk, tastes better than the regular milk, got less inflammatory, and overall it's just a lot more healthier. Yeah, you got the fats of the almonds in there.
Yeah.
A lot better than the other junk.
Correct. And even the pulp from the almonds, if you want, you can save those and make cookies out of them. I tried it once. I wasn't a fan.
You got to figure it out.
I have to figure out the recipe better. I need to find more time to do that, but you don't even have to throw it out. You could freeze it and then just pull it out and use it, the pulp.
So the only thing missing from you doing it is that commitment to making it happen.
But then again, do we really need cookies? No.
Yeah.
So it's not a priority.
Milk is good. I got to say, too, that since drinking this milk, everything else just tastes so nasty.
Yes.
And so It's a necessity. And I look open the refrigerator and I think, there's
Where's
no
the
milk.
milk?
Where's the milk? There's no milk.
One time I remember I didn't have time to make milk and I bought some.
Oh,
And he comes up and he goes, I just want to let you know, this coffee does not taste good.
yeah. And
Because of the milk.
back in the day, the cookie and milk guy, cereal and milk guy, all on the dairy milk. And this milk is so delicious. So definitely
It
check it
tastes
out.
way better.
Perfect.
It just, try it
A lot healthier.
and
for
let us
sure.
know in the comments below what you think.
Perfect. Okay. Another one, because you just you discovered this maybe half a year ago. You made it for the first time. I don't even know. A lot of times people say, well, I don't know how to eat my vegetables. I don't get vegetables. I don't like vegetables. So it's a big roadblock to even do it and don't know how to even cook them, right? Besides the frozen green beans. And I'm not talking about,
And there's nothing wrong with frozen green beans. However, we have something better.
yes. So I don't even know the name of it, but I call it a vegetable medley.
Oh, it's just roasted vegetables, yeah.
Yeah, but you do something to them that makes it taste so delicious. Every time I
Yeah.
taste it, man, it's so good, so good, so good. I mean, so just what is it? Like, what do you do?
So you could use any vegetable that you have in your pantry or in your refrigerator that's aside from leafy greens. You probably could put spinach in it, but you don't have to. But so any type of roastable vegetable. So I put mushrooms, which has anti-cancer properties.
It's good.
But I put peppers. I put like bell pepper, red, and I put a jalapeno because my husband loves spice. I chop up broccoli. Sometimes if I don't have broccoli, I have a cauliflower. I cut it up. And the key to this is that I cut it up small.
Wow.
Not tiny, but cut it up small so that the vegetables are pretty much the same size.
Is that because they cook evenly, or?
They cook evenly, and I think it's more pleasing to the eye for the kids, in my opinion.
Wow.
I put a red onion in there, and then the thing that ties it all together that I think you love is the potato. I put a potato in it.
The roasted potatoes are amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
it's great.
Yes, and
Filling too. It's really filling.
It's very, very filling. So I ideally like to put the red potato in there, but there are times I've put a russet or I've put a yellow potato. And I know they say you should keep your vegetables separate on a pan when you're roasting them. And yes, you can, but I haven't had a problem with mine. So anyway, and then what brings them all together now is the spices I put in it. So I put
Yeah, what do you put in
sprinkle
it?
garlic powder, smoked paprika, and a little bit of red pepper flakes. And then the one thing that takes it over the top is mushroom unami seasoning from Trader Joe's.
Oh, you know what we can do? We'll put that in the link
Yeah, it's really good.
down below.
It just takes it
We can find
up
it.
a notch. I put it in a lot of things, and that's for one thing. It just makes it really taste so good. And then I put a little sprinkle of very slightly sprinkle with sea salt and black pepper, and then I put like a tablespoon or two of olive oil. I measure out my olive oil because if we just do this, we'll put too much. And you don't want the vegetables oily, and you don't want it too dry. So if you're not doing oils, which technically
You don't need.
you don't need,
If you're trying to heal from heart disease
Yeah.
and other things, no oils
you
whatsoever.
could do vegetable broth.
Yeah. So depending on where you are, I would
Yeah.
say with your overall health, use the vegetable broth versus the oils.
Oil, yeah.
At the end of the day, if you're in a good spot and you're using oil, 2 tablespoons of oil over the entire
Sheet pan of
sheet
vegetables.
pans, it's probably 240 extra calories. But you're not eating it all at once. That should spread out over 5-6 days. So all in all, it's not too bad. Again, it's being practical with everything.
Right. You toss that and you roast that in the oven on 375, 400, depending on how hot your oven gets. And you roast that for about 20 minutes, pull it out, toss everything, and then put it back in for another about 10 minutes because you basically want the potatoes cooked through. Everything else cooks quickly, but the potatoes, you want the potatoes cooked through. And in my opinion, I've had no problems. You don't want the vegetables to get dark or you don't want them burned. Trust me, I've burnt mine before, not looking. So you want to have it where it's roasted evenly and not burnt.
It's good. That's good. Yeah. So easy recipe. Use any kind of vegetables you really want to, but you kind of named our favorites.
Yep.
roasting easily. Cook as many as you want for the given week. Store them again.
Yep.
Heat them up.
Yep.
Eat, and it's filling, and you get vegetable broth, a lot less calories, but you get all your nutrients. Potatoes, it's great.
Yes.
All right, so let's go on to the third one, which we love, and that's just beans.
Yeah.
It's not refried beans, but we call them like smush beans that look like refried beans.
Our youngest dubbed it mush beans.
Mush beans, that's right, mush beans.
Yeah,
So yeah, real quick, well, what's a simple recipe of how you use that?
it's just pinto beans, organic pinto beans. I get the dry beans because it's economical and healthier, and the consistency comes out better than the canned beans.
Oh yeah,
So I soak those beans overnight, and then this is where your Instapot is your best friend. And I just fill my Instapot with the beans, an onion, garlic, a jalapeno, and then I add my spices such as cumin, salt, pepper, thyme, dry thyme. I also put cumin and why can't I think of the other one?
so you kind of just do everything kind of to your own particular taste.
Correct.
And you kind of over time, you don't really measure anything, but you just kind of know what you put in there at the time. So
Yes.
add those spices, but not too much to kind of get your flavoring down.
Correct. And I mean, I'm working on trying to nail down the measurements for you. Oh yeah, and chili powder.
Yeah.
I'm trying to nail down the measurements. But I've done it.
Cookbook.
I have done this so many times that I don't even have to look, right? I could just do it. And like how you make tofu scramble, right?
Yeah.
I just do it. And then I set the Instapot to cook for an hour.
Okay.
And then once it's done and it's naturally released, that the Instapot naturally releases, I strain the beans of majority of the water, not all of the water, but majority of the water, the liquid, and then I transfer it back and I just mash it with a potato masher.
Yeah. And if it's too dry, you add a little bit more water to make it the consistency that you actually want.
Yeah, save some of that liquid water.
Yeah.
Don't throw out all of it. Save some of it because you want to pour it back in if you need it. Because you don't want the beans dried.
Yeah, and beans are great because you can make rice as a bulk. You can get a wrap, put it in there, add more onions to it, make it burritos.
Salad.
You can put it on salads. I mean, beans are so great, not only nutritionally, but it saves a lot of time.
Yes.
They're good for you and they're
Yes.
filling. So beans
And
are one of our
affordable.
favorites. Very affordable.
Yes.
Very affordable.
Yes.
Okay, let's get to the last one here. This is one I just got turned on to after kind of going, no, I don't know if I can do this because of my traumatic past with dealing with oats. But it's overnight oats.
Oh, yes. Love it, love it, love it. This is a very healthy, easy dish. And I adopted this dish from, I believe her name is Caitlin from the blogger. It's called From My Bowl. And she has a lot of easy recipes that are very accessible and simple ingredients. And her food tastes amazing. So overnight oats, all it is basically oats, the almond milk that you just made, frozen blueberries, or you can use fresh, but I like to use frozen, and a lemon, a half a lemon, and you can put spices such as nutmeg and cardamom and cinnamon, and a pinch of salt, and oh yes, and of course the oats and the chia seeds. And so you're going to blend some of the ingredients and then you add it to the oats and the chia seeds. And then there you have it. You put it in the fridge. And then overnight. And if you don't like a cold breakfast, you can nuke that in the microwave for about 20 seconds, which is what I do for my girls. And I just top it with a little bit of yogurt and a drizzle of maple syrup.
Yeah, it's really, really good. At first, I was like, I don't know about doing this. And I tasted it. Woo, it was good.
My sister-in-law, when she visited, her daughter, she asked her, she said, you want to try this before I make you a bowl? And she took a bite and her eyes lit up like saucers.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah. So those, man, we have more we can go down the list, but those are 4 really great, easy starter type of meals you can do. Got your breakfast, overnight oats. You got the beans for lunch and dinner. We talked the vegetable medley that you can use for dinner or lunch, and the milk, which you can use for all occasions, especially for breakfast or
Yes.
whatever coffee we want to do that as
Yes.
well. So yeah, no, I know we're not a recipe cooking chocolate channel, but I definitely want to, but by request of one of our viewers, wanted to know about different things to eat. So if you're watching, listening, there you have it. 4 main things that we find are crucial to our overall cooking there. And so,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, so when you think about over just to make this all happen, it comes down to, like you said, making a commitment,
Time
planning your meal.
commitment. Definitely to plan your meal, create a shopping list,
But
stick to that list.
you got to figure out how many meals you're going to make for the given week and for
Correct.
how many people, right?
Correct.
I
And
mean,
that's where you have a family get involved and get them thinking about what they want to eat and, teaching them how to eat healthy. It's all part of the process. And then you stick to that list
yeah,
and
shop that list.
shop that list.
Don't go off that list because you
No.
already know what you're going to be making. So you
Yes.
shop that list. It will save you aggravation. It's going to save you money.
Yeah. In the long run, it will save you money. At first, you're going to say, oh my gosh, vegetables are so expensive. Well, so is doctor bills, right? So you
Yes.
got to choose your hard, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, exactly. So you shop the list, prep them, and then you just put them in storage containers, preferably like glass containers, Tupperware type of stuff in the refrigerator. And then when it comes time to eat, you open up that container and you just
eat.
feast.
Yes, make your life easy. And you'll be so grateful, especially on a Tuesday night when you come in from baseball or from whatever activity, and you just have to pull that meal out and heat it up.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it to a wrap.
And
There's
it's
the beans in
healthy.
there, and you get the vegetable medley.
And it's healthy.
It's healthy, complete, so much better than Chick-fil-A or McDonald's.
Yes. And you will notice how you feel.
Yeah, give it 2-3 weeks, complete difference.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's how you can start eating healthy. It's very, very simple. Just plan it. Just find different alternatives. If this doesn't work for you, find out different alternatives that you may like and to try. Find a simple recipe.
Yes, there's so many recipes out there, free recipes online. I scour Instagram, I scour
Pinterest.
YouTube, Pinterest, I scour the internet. I'm constantly looking at different vloggers I follow
Yeah.
for inspiration. I have
YouTube.
cookbooks, but with cookbooks, it's like I try to find cookbooks that don't require a lot of ingredients, and that's
Yeah.
kind of hard to find. But yes, YouTube is your friend, Instagram is your
Keep it
friend.
simple.
Keep it very
Keep
simple.
it simple.
Yeah, meals should be simple, and there are tools that should be your friend. Instapot is your friend.
Well, and you think about it, beans, vegetables, fruits, they're simple.
Yeah.
You throw them together, they get make it more complicated. You don't got to
Yes.
do all this crazy stuff, no
Correct.
fancy sauces. So it's not.
Yes.
So listen, let us know what you think. Let us know.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear your good stuff. We'll have the links in there for the mushroom seasoning. We'll have a link in there for the recipes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so look below. And then yeah, so definitely, please.
Yes. Until next time.
Yeah, subscribe and comment below.
Yes.
And if you we're not gonna edit this. If you watch this far, we're not editing it whatsoever. Yeah, so also I'll let you know we do have a free assessment to know how toxic your body is. It's from eating all the bad foods from like McDonald's, what have you. Take the free assessment. It's also in the link below. That way you kind of know. So yeah, subscribe and comment. So until next time.
I was rushing it. Be well.
Take care.